Welcome to Kicking It with Sensei, and today we have a returning guest. We've got Master Gary Hernandez, the cane master. And if you'd like to give a wee bit of introduction into your martial arts background, Gary.
Yes, well, thank you for having me again, sir.
Yeah.
I've been doing martial arts since 1978. I started off in judo when I was about 14, did that for almost a year. Wasn't a big fan of being on the ground all the time. I wanted to do more kicking and punching. So then I got into taekwondo and got my black belt in taekwondo, but I wanted a little bit more self-defense. So I also transitioned into hapkido and got my black belt in hapkido. And then I wanted more of fighting because the point sparring and the light continuous contact was okay. But then I started doing some full contact kickboxing. Later on in life, I hooked up with one of my grandmasters, Bill Superfoot Wallace, and got my 5th degree in kickboxing through Grandmaster Wallace, trained with him for 20 years. And then basically 2004, I designed the RDT self-defense system. And in 2006, I created the RDT with the cane. And I got a 3rd degree black belt with Grandmaster Mark Shuey and Cane Masters. So I've known Master Shuey for about 20 years. I've done combat knife fighting, not the Kali system, but more. One of my instructors was an Army Ranger, so I did about 10, 15 years combat knife fighting with him. So when I created the RDT system, I also did a cane division of it. That's primarily for the cane. And now I teach a lot of the RDT cane, which is the RDT just basically is realistic defensive tactics for the everyday person. So you don't have to be a martial artist to learn how to use the cane to defend yourself.
And what sort of pointed you towards using a cane as a self-defense tool? And
well, in my traditional hapkido, we use the cane and the dambang, the short stick. And when you're in your early 20s, I'm going to be 57. So in my early 20s, the cane didn't appeal to me.
Yeah,
I'm like, what do I need this for?
That's it.
But let's have an old man going, get off my yard, kids. But I decided. Then as I got older and started, I got injured, so I did use a walking stick for a little bit. Not just about a week or two. But then I started messing with it, and when I hit my 30s, I started looking at it. And then when I got into my 40s, all the pain in my body was developing from my 20s. And I'm like, you know what? Let me revisit the cane again. Yeah. So in my late 30s and 40s, I started working with it more. And I just see that all of us, there's an old story we had in my generation. When you're in your teens, you're kicking this high, in your 20s, your 30s, your 40s, your 50s. Eventually, all of us are going to get to an age where we may have to use the cane.
Yeah.
So I felt that was going to be a very good martial art aid, even though you don't have to have martial arts to use it. But it's also a tool. I try not to call it a weapon, even though it basically will be used as one.
Yeah.
But it's something that we can carry anywhere. If you don't have, as long as it doesn't have a sword or a gun or anything attached to it, you can take these canes in a plane, courthouse, and school. And unlike a gun, and and down here in Florida, we have concealed weapons permit. Everybody has one. We have one. And to where, you have to, it's concealed weapon, which means you've got to reach in wherever you have it, pull it out.
Yeah.
The cane is already in your hands, chambered, ready to go. Yeah. So that's something else I liked about it. Besides a mobility aid, you can put resistor bands and use it for physical fitness that we do also. But it's a quick self-defense tool to get somebody off you.
Excellent. And it does work in your younger years too. I know when I was grading for my brown belt in jiu-jitsu, I actually had a foot injury about 2-3 weeks before it, and I was on crutches, and coming up the grading anyway, I was starting to walk on it a bit, but I actually asked the person doing the testing, could I use the crutch? And they said, how would you use that? And I said, I've been watching Gary Hernandez on YouTube for months. I said, I can use the crutch, no problem now, but they wouldn't allow it. But it definitely opened my eyes to the capabilities of it now. And And do you think the cane should be introduced into most self-defense classes, as it is such a adaptable tool? Like it's
Yes, I do. I really think it should be for actually two reasons. One of them is I think it should be used because it's a great self-defense tool, but it's also something that'll give you some confidence. Not that you have to walk around swinging it, but you know you got something you can use to defend yourself. Some people are very, when they're going out, they're nervous when they see crowds and stuff. The cane will give you a little bit of security. Don't get me wrong, if you're not properly trained, someone's going to take it away from you. That is very true. And I think if you're going to use it for self-defense, you absolutely need to get some training. But it's also, I think all the self-defense martial arts should start incorporating it because number one, the reality is we're all getting old.
yeah,
I mean, out of 100% of people doing martial arts, I'm going to say about 70 of us are going to end up having, when we get older, very bad arthritis, injuries we may have gotten in our younger days from falls or throws or hits, and things are going to start to affect us. And this is a good tool to use to get around, but also obviously for self-defense.
and what martial arts do you think would be good empty-handed for self-defense if you didn't have the cane to hand?
I'm one of those guys where I think all martial art. I've seen a lot of different ones, and I like all martial arts. I like to look at them, study them, learn them. Some of them I can't do. I'm just too darn old, too heavy, too banged up. But I think first off, as long as you got somebody who's teaching you some good self-defense or teaching you good techniques that you can apply to the street. There's two kinds of self-defense, and I used to get a lot of Taekwondo guys mad at me all the time. Taekwondo, it's fast. And I have a 6-degree black belt in Taekwondo. But the thing is, it was more classed as a sport karate, especially when you were training. But the thing is, it does have its great techniques. You can do a lot to it. But when you start getting older, you're not going to fly through the air. But to answer your question, though, I think if the martial arts is teaching you to defend yourself, open hand, I think it's a good thing. There's a lot of them I haven't myself participated in. I've done a lot of seminars with people, and when I walk into working jiu-jitsu with somebody, I'm a white belt. I don't have any belt. And I got a good friend of mine that are masters in it, and they're phenomenal. Same thing when you walk into Kempo or something. I've done some Kempo, but I don't have any belts in that, or black belts in that. So if it's going to teach you to defend yourself, it's good for you. It's going to help you get off the couch, help you do something. I think, though, today, all of these systems need to transition a little bit, including me, and I've actually done this years ago, but I'm still working on it. That's why I developed the RDT system. I think all these traditional martial arts, and I love traditional martial arts, but I think we all need to transition into more street tactical fighting, because the honor, the bow, the honor, the focus, the discipline, the respect, that's great in the dojo or the dojang. But when you walk out that door, there is no honor out there when someone's trying to shoot you, hurt you, rape you, kill you, rob you. So you've got to sometimes, like I have a thing called the Savage Cane series.
Excuse me.
Where in the Savage Cane series, I'm sure you might have seen some of it.
Yeah, I've seen some of that.
I get directed because I had people say, "Oh, you're going to kill somebody with that stick." My life's on the line. I need to get home to my family. Okay, I'm going to do that.
Yeah.
So I get all savage with this cane. But the thing is, you gotta. When people are out there trying to hurt you, they don't care about you. They don't look at your political beliefs. They don't look at your religious beliefs. They don't look at your sexual orientation. They don't look at anything but the fact that they're going to do something to you. That's it.
That's it. Yeah, I call it the Cobra K effect. Strike first, strike hard, no mercy. It's a lot of people would say Cobra K is not a good mindset now, but when it comes to self-defense, they've really hit the nail on the head with it. But have you tried any other canes other than the sort of traditional cane, like such as Irish sticks or anything like that? Have you?
I've worked out with with different kind of canes where they have the regular crooks, they have the derby style handle, or they have the round handle. I've worked out with some bow staffs. I mean, first fight I ever got into with any kind of a stick. I used to be a bartender for 10 years.
Yeah.
I worked a couple different clubs in my 20s. I got into a fight where I had to get a pool stick and use a pool stick in a fight.
Yeah.
It worked really effectively. But I've never used Irish sticks. I'm interested, and I kind of should look into that a little bit. I've used hiking sticks for self-defense, so I got to get a little bit more into that.
I have the Irish stick here now. It's a very, but I always like the knuckle on the end of it now. It's very effective.
Yeah, definitely. It's like on this one here, on my gray man. That was the one I designed that has the detachable. This is a glass breaker. It comes off so you can use it to break a windshield of a car and get out, but it makes a good, fast Kubaton for fighting. But company DNR Woodwork, I drew this out. I designed it, and DNR Woodwork created it. But the thing is, I like the fact that this is nice and kind of like what you have there, round and solid. This is fat and meaty, and when you hit, they know it.
Looks very effective now, but
oh yeah, it's pretty good. It kind of hurts when you hit somebody.
And would you have a lot of students that actually use the cane for mobility purposes as well, or would most of them be quite mobile and just learn the cane as a self-defense tool?
In my classes, the majority of the ones that come in are guys that had trained when they were a lot younger in martial arts and had to get out of it for work or family. And then they've retired and want to get back into it. And they're finding their bodies won't do the flying side kicks, the 360s. They don't want to get flipped and hit the ground hard. So they want to get back into self-defense. So they transition into the cane. When because of the YouTube channel that I have, a lot of people would ask me, how can they learn it? And I developed the system, and I just transitioned it to online private. I had online private videos, and I have quite a few people that have never trained with the cane at all. You know, they're 40, 50, 60, 70. They've never trained in martial arts with the cane. So they get, and I tell them you can use a basic cane. You don't have to have an expensive, fancy cane. Start off with something that you can hold, pick up. Because if you can't pick the cane up, you're not going to be able to do much. And they watch the videos, and once a month I do a live session with them so I can go over and see what they're doing. And the ones that have trained in martial arts pick it up a little bit quicker because they've either had a bow staff in their hand or something before, and they understand the footwork. If footwork, and you know better than most, footwork's extremely important when you're doing some kind of martial arts. It's not always you're 100% have to have it perfectly, but it does help. So they pick it up quicker. The people that have never touched the cane start to work it, and I'm working with them, and then they go, wow, this feels good. And then they've dropped it, they pick it back up, they start working with it, and they're like, then they start to understand it. And the minute they start to understand it and what it can do, that light bulb clicks off. Yes, let's do this.
Excellent. And do you have any other weapons in the RDT system other than the cane? Or?
Yeah, we do. One of them is a tactical knife, any kind of a folder, because I teach combat knife fighting. So, and I did that a lot more than the cane back in my younger days. Yeah. But the thing was, with the knife, in court, knife, you slash somebody. Like if you shoot somebody to defend yourself, you got to, you carry a weapon, you shoot somebody from 7 feet away coming at you, you go to court and all that, and they're like, he was shot. Ooh, the jury looks at it. When you cut somebody or stab them or slice them to get them off you, and there's those stab slices, and because they're always taking photos, of the incident when it's reported. The jury, when they hear knife, they all go, ooh, they cringe because they think it's more gorier for the effect. So we do teach the knife. Also teach Kubatons, how to use the small, like I was just showing there, for self-defense. We also teach improvised weapons, how to use a pen for self-defense, how to use your keys, how to use a magazine. We roll it up, we shoot certain things, and umbrellas. I did a video recently on 3 different size umbrellas, from a full-size umbrella to a smaller one to a real short one. And we show how to use them for fighting. But as the primary weapons in the RDT, we go with the cane, Kubaton, and knife. Those are the 3 primary weapons.
Oh, I always like the Kubaton. Now it's here in Ireland, nearly all weapons are illegal now. Guns are completely illegal, and even if you're carrying a knife now, it's an arrestable offence. And the thing I've noticed is that most of the law enforcement here don't actually know what a Kubaton is. So when you've got it on your keys, they don't even recognize it as a weapon. So it's you can quite easily carry it and never have any trouble. So,
well, here, because of so many different martial arts schools, and most officers also train, because a lot of officers that I've taught, they learn quite a bit of stuff while they're in their as a cop, but they're also, from what I learned, required to use their tools, their gun, the radio, backup, their nightstick, or their use their taser, pepper spray. But something happens when they lose that. That's when they want to go to martial arts and learn more jiu-jitsu and stuff. But they all know what a small short fighting stick is, like this one right here, just a basic little stick, But you can do a lot, just as well as I do. A lot you can do with it. Pressure point areas. If you want to get more serious, if you're 65, 70, 80 years old and you got bad arthritis and you don't have a lot of power to hit somebody off you, taking one of these little babies and right into their eye canal, into their windpipe, into the ear, really hard, equilibrium, vision, breathing, they're going to have a problem. So now you can up your game and get away.
Definitely. And do you find a big increase in the interest within the cane now with the sort of rise of YouTube and people such as yourself and Matt Pasquinelli and Sons of Cane? Do you think there's a big interest in the cane nowadays?
Oh yeah, absolutely, I do. And I know all those guys you're referring to. They're great guys, good people. I talk to quite a bit of them all the time. Yeah, there is. I mean, there's a lot of us out there. There's a lot of cane guys out there, and I've watched quite a few videos. There's a lot of good guys out there, and there's people that are learning it. And then the thing is, with me, I look at it like we're all different. Some of them have a different flair than I do, and that's not good or bad. I'm saying we're just a different flair. I don't know. I like what they're doing, and to me, if all of us doing these videos are getting people to get up and get involved with the cane. And if somebody's learning something from us and they're getting up and they're using that, regardless who's out there, and they're giving us confidence, not false hope and not false security, because that's something I don't ever want to give somebody, is false hope that, I can just go down the street and I got 3 guys, I'm covered. No, you got to use this for self-preservation. Is this, situational awareness, sometimes a tactical advantage. One of the things I always say is, like I said, I'm going to be 57, so I don't have the strength that I had when I was 27. So I have to be able to hit you in more, when I was 27, I hit you in the chest, you'd be, oh my God, that hurts. Now I'm going to have to hit you in the throat or the ear because I'm getting older. When I was 27, I had a lot of speed. I was really fast. Well, now I got to be a little more sneakier. So for the power that I'm losing, I'm going to more targeting areas. For the speed that I'm losing as I'm getting older, I'm getting more sneaky and stealthier in my strikes. So I'm compensating the 2 with that. And that's, that's what I want to do. I don't want to give people false illusion. I don't want an 80-year-old thinking he's going to have the punching power. If he just picks this up and swings it one time, his world's safe. No, if you can get away, get away. You're going to have to do certain things where we teach them where to hit, how to hit, but everything is first situational awareness. If you see 3 creepy dudes down that street, don't walk down that street. But Sensei Canes and Matt and all these other guys, Joe Rubino, all these guys that are out there doing their stuff, I love them, man. They're doing a great job, and they need to keep doing it. I mean, it's fantastic. I enjoy watching all these guys. I've talked to quite a few of these guys. A lot of these guys are my friends, and I look just forward to watching what they can do, and they should keep doing it.
Excellent. And do you think it's important nowadays to kind of take technology on board to kind of progress in martial arts?
I think so, because one of the things I have learned about, especially with technology, now there's two different kinds of technology I've noticed. There's now, there's more where there's technology in your school where you're using some like simulators, or you're using something that you can register impact on test dummies and stuff like that, or equipment. Yeah, but technology as far as computers and videos and YouTube and Zoom and all that, that's great, because besides the COVID thing that just happened, there's some people that are training with me, and one of the reasons they're training with me is because they physically, before the virus, they don't have the physical capabilities to drive far to a karate school to learn. Some people don't want to, they're getting older, their eyesight's getting worse, and they don't want to drive at night. Well, being that they could get on here and learn live, that gives them something to do and learn and train. So the technology is there benefiting both our parties.
Excellent. I know from my own point of view now here in Ireland, there's not a lot of martial arts about now. It's very, very limited. However, with the school I'm with, there's about 5 instructors at the minute. So we would a lot of the time look for things on YouTube that's not available here. And we'd all study the videos, practice it between ourselves, and kind of adapt it into the system. But technology's played a big part in sort of our style evolving over the last 5-10 years. It's fantastic with that now. And
yeah, I'm sorry, go ahead, sir.
Go ahead, Gary.
Well, it's definitely helped me, because I started my YouTube channel less than 3 years ago, a little over 2.5. And I just did it because I want, when I first did the YouTube, I love the cane. I wanted to get out there and do it. And you can tell by my first videos how stale and hello, how are you? And then I got more comfortable with the camera. But the thing is, it helped me, because the YouTube channel opened up, avenues to where I've gained students online. I was able to throw seminars and have people from other states come down. And the people have been very, nice and watching my videos and training and learning from me. So it's a good group of people out there. You meet some, you get some people that do trash you and stuff. And, and that's going to happen no matter what. So I ain't worried about that. But because of the technology, it's helped them get to where they can learn the cane, but it's also given me new student bases and doing something that I love to do.
Excellent. And regarding your online presence, you have the logo of the cane smashing through the wall. Where did the idea for that logo come from?
I actually drew that logo. I wanted something that represented power, that the cane's not just a mobility, it can be used for power, to not only power as a weapon against somebody, but power in giving you confidence and security in your everyday life. So I wanted it, and I'm thinking, well, kind of like, here's the cane. This is what you can hold on to when you're out there in the world that's legal. So what I did was I drew first, like, a background of a guy holding the cane. I'm like, he's got somebody holding the cane. Then I drew like I saw at one time a logo of like the Incredible Hulk busting through a wall.
Yeah.
And you know what? I drew the wall. It was a bad drawing too. I still got it. I'll have to show it one day. And so I drew these bricks coming out, and I drew these two. They looked like almost like sheep, but they were fingers in my hand on a cane. And I drew it, and I took it to a guy that does artwork, and I said, "Can you make this look good?" I told him what I wanted, and he designed it. And then I said, "Okay, then I want to get it on to where I can use it for a logo and use it for my shirts." So that's how it transitioned.
It looks well. It looks very well now. But
thank you.
And finally, Gary, how can people find you online and follow along
Well,
with you?
they can go under Gary Hernandez martialarts.com. That's my website, and it'll take them to my website, and they'll have all the information. They can also go on YouTube, and there's Keen Self-Defense with Master Gary Hernandez. And there's the I have 2 YouTube channels, but one's strictly to cane. There's all the cane videos, and then I have a Facebook, Gary Hernandez, and I have 2. I have like a personal one for family, and then I have one for the martial arts. And the Gary Hernandez on Facebook, you're going to see me with my regular RDT logo, which has the stick, knife, and the cane. But that logo behind me there, you see that logo, and you see me with my younger black belts and my partner, Master Karuna. You see us on there, and that's the Facebook one.
Excellent. I'll put links to all that in the description. And
thank you, sir.
It was a pleasure having you on again, Gary, and speaking with you once again.
I like what you're doing. I watch your shows. You got great people you interview. You're doing an excellent job. Thank you very much.
Thank you. No, and